Hey, what's going on, guys? Jay here from Easy Blade Shaving Products, back with another haircut tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is a good one. So we have here is a comb back haircut with a skin fade on the side. Now what I'm doing here first is I'm starting off doing the scissors on the top of the hair. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I realize when people have long hair, over the years of me cutting hair, if you do the scissors last after you fade the hair perfectly and you just love the way it looks, if you do the scissors last, what happens is the hair just doesn't fall right and it messes up the fade haircut, period. So I've learned over the years to go ahead and do the scissor work first, dry up the hair, and then go ahead and fade the hair. All right, that's the best way to do it, guys, and you'll notice a big difference when you do that with that small tip that I'm giving you guys. You know, do the scissor work first, get it to where you want to be, and then start your fade. So what I'm doing here is just clearing out some of the bulk. I'm doing a clipper over comb. I just want to clear out all that bulk, and the reason why I'm doing clipper over comb because I want that hair to fall in the right position before I start fading hair again. With his hair is so thick, so you know, you just don't want to go in there with a guard. You want to just go ahead and clear the bulk with the clipper over comb and kind of give it that nice foundation. And then I'm gonna go in there with a guard and just basically clear it out some more. Right here, I just want to get rid of all of this weight and just have that hair fall exactly where I need it to be. I'm really happy with the way this haircut turned out. It can turn out to be a really good haircut. Clipper over comb, guys. Just make sure you're holding your comb, pulling it out as you can see me doing. And what I did here was grab a number 3, and again, just clearing out the bulk, getting room for our skin fade. Again, don't mess up the haircut by doing the scissors last. Now, if I would have did this last, the haircut would have been totally different. So what I'm doing here is basically, it's like somebody walked in with a haircut like they had last week. As you can see, this guy, he didn't have a haircut for a little while. So that's why the hair was so thick on the side. And this would look like somebody, if somebody came in the shop right now, if they came every 2 weeks, this is probably how their haircut would look before I started the skin fade. Now what I'm using here is the new Babyless FX clippers. Really nice, really sharp, as you can see. Really skin out the hair. And what I'm doing is starting at the temple area of the head and going all the way around the head. And just making sure that it's nice and clean, guys. Make sure you follow the line. The back right there looks a tiny bit crooked, but I fixed it throughout the video. Just couldn't show exactly, you know, what I was doing because, of course, for video purposes, I had to shorten it up. So what I'm doing here is grab my number 2 guard, and I'm going ahead and just clearing it out some more. So we had a 3, now we got a 2, and we're just clearing out that bulk. Now you can see me just kind of going up into the hair and pulling out and scooping out. Really hovering into that hair. Same thing over here. And you guys can see, because I did the top of the head, of course the hair is falling a lot better for our fade haircut. Now what I'm going to do is start our second guideline, which is with my machine fully open. Starting that guideline. So we have 2 guidelines. We have our skin and we also have a half. So you open up that machine all the way, it's a half, guys. So we have our skin and our half line that we're creating right now. Make sure you're flicking the wrist to create that line. Bringing it right to where I want it to be. I want to call this like a kind of a mid. I want to call it a mid fade. It's not low. It's not too high, but it's a mid fade. So you guys can do it a low fade. You can do a high fade, but use the same technique, guys. Make sure you know, scissoring that top first. You know, doing your clip over comb. If somebody comes in there with that bulk of hair that he had on the side. So if you see too much hair, make sure you use those steps. All right, I went ahead and dropped down to my 1.5. Same steps, flicking my wrist and just creating our fade, creating our blend. Going all the way around the head, same steps, flicking that wrist. As I get higher, you want to make sure that you open up that lever. You want to make sure that you're frequently playing with that lever. That lever is really going to help you transition into the previous clip. Same thing on this side, guys. Flicking that wrist. All right, went ahead and dropped down to my 1. Same steps, guys. As I get higher, I open up that lever and just make sure that I'm fading into that hair. Going all the way around the head with that. Same thing on this side, guys. Now really get lost in that haircut, guys. Make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing at all times. Now what we did was we dropped down to the half. Smaller strokes, flicking my wrist, opening the lever, and fading and transitioning to that previous clip. Really get lost in the haircut, guys. It's an art. Get lost into it, guys. Get really, really lost and deep into that haircut. Really concentrate on what you're doing. Now you can see I jumped down to my brush. Now you want to jump down to your brush because you want to get rid of those micro hairs. You want to be able to brush those hairs out. Sometimes when you don't brush the hair with a brush, not a comb, a brush, what happens is that hair kind of sticks in there and you're kind of like fading hair for no reason. And you think something's wrong with the fade, but it's not. You might just need to brush it. All right, I took off that guard. Now I drop down to my 0. That's the machine close. And as I get higher, I open that lever to a half. Now if you remember, our second guideline was a half, so we're basically fading into that half, guys. Same thing all the way around the head, guys. Now you can see the fade is starting to take place and it's starting to look a lot better. Again, flick that wrist, guys. We don't want to create any extra lines. We don't want to go any higher. We want to make sure that we're concentrating on that last line and remembering where we put our first guideline. Now, a lot of people like to do this. They like to skin it out first. A lot of barbers do that online, if you notice. So a lot of people do the skin line, do the second guideline, and then they fade out this line first because it makes more sense sometimes when you do it that way. If you fade it out first, then you won't go higher than you're supposed to. So a lot of people do it that way to make it easier. Or you can do it like this. A lot of people do it this way as well. Smaller strokes. But if you feel like it would be easier for you to go ahead and take out the skin line first on our first, take out the first guideline after you create the second one, then if that makes sense for you, then it makes sense. So we're going to do ahead and use the shaver to make the fade pop a lot more. So it's going to bring it down all the way down to the skin, guys. Now you can see that fade haircut is starting to pop. Flick that wrist, same thing, guys. I'm going to go ahead and start the lineup. We're going to just give him a little bit of curve right here, just to make the fade haircut pop out a little bit. Now we could have skinned it all the way up, but in this case, this is what he wanted. This is a picture that he showed me, and basically that's what he got. Same thing on the other side. Now, I'm a little weird, guys. I like to hold my clipper whenever I'm doing this side of the haircut. For some reason, I like to put my hand on the clipper. As you can see, I like to put my other hand on there. It kind of gives me a balance, but you can do what suits you. So I'm going to go ahead and start the front, lightly touching it. Nothing crazy. Tapping the headline. Keeping it as natural as possible, not going all the way up into the hair. Then we're going to go ahead and hit it with the razor. Going right in the middle, like I said, keeping it as natural as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some Easy Blade shave gel along with an Easy Blade straight razor and our wood handle straight razor as well. And I'm really going to make this thing pop. As you can see, that fade really transitioned and really popped out. The top of his hair is already done. I'm loving it. This is what we have, guys. Pretty much a skin fade with the comb back. That's that side of the haircut. As you can see the front, everything is shaped up. Here's the back. I think it looks really good. And here's this side. If you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment, and let us know what you want to see.